In this part of the broadcast, we will take you through a poll of polls. We look at what the India Today Access My India data is saying for each of the poll-bound states. We'll also look at what the other pollsters are saying. So, Rajdeep, where do we start from? Should we start from Madhya Pradesh?
We can start from the state where it appears that the numbers are the most certain and, in a way, are also the most stunning in terms of what they suggest. Yeah. Let's go with Madhya Pradesh,
okay, let's go to Madhya Pradesh first. So, coming up on your screen, the India Today Access My India numbers and the numbers of the other pollsters. Remember, our team has a 94% track record, 60 out of 64 predictions being bang on. But we'll give you a sense directionally of what the other pollsters are saying as well. So here is Madhya Pradesh. Access My India and India Today are predicting a landslide victory for the BJP. Out of the 230 seats, Access My India predicts for India Today that the BJP could get between 140 and 162. Last time they had 109. The Congress, which had 114 on counting day, could come down to 90 or 68. That's the range according to Access My India. Dainik Bhaskar predicts a closer fight. They're predicting the Congress in front, 105 to 120 according to Dainik Bhaskar, a big newspaper in the state of Madhya Pradesh. The BJP between 95 and 115. So they're giving the edge to the Congress with the BJP in roughly the same range. Jan Ki Baat, Jan Ki Baat has a very different prediction, 102 to 125. So they also show Congress slightly in front, 100 to 123 for the BJP. BJP just slightly behind but roughly in the same race. Matriz showing 97 to 107 for the Congress, but they show a definitive edge to the BJP, 118 to 130. So Matriz showing a big gain for the BJP, not as big as Access My India does, but showing the BJP comfortably placed to form the government. Then there is ETG. ETG says 109 to 125 for the Congress. So Congress clearly with the edge. BJP at 105 to 117, so trailing behind. So if you see this, broadly, you've got Access My India and Matriz showing the BJP winning, whereas Dainik Bhaskar, Jan Ki Baat and ETG are showing Rajdeep a much tighter fight. So somebody will be dancing and somebody will be eating crow on Sunday.
Look, these numbers show what was the general mood ahead of Madhya Pradesh. You asked anyone, they said kaate ki takkar. That, it could go either way, too close to call. And a lot of local journalists in particular were saying this will be seat to seat. But when I look at Pradeep Gupta's micro data, particularly women, 50% women voting for the BJP versus 40% for the Congress, it appears to me that advantage is clearly with the BJP. They're doing very well even in the tribal seats, even in Mahakaushal and Gwalior Chambal. So unless Pradeep has got it horribly wrong, I just don't see how Madhya Pradesh can go the other way. So while your poll of polls will give a more mixed picture, my sense is that, and Kamal Nath will say, wait till December 3rd, don't trust television, only trust me. I think Pradeep Gupta may well have captured the right trend. Whether it goes as high as 160 or stops earlier, that we can't say. But I think Rahul Verma earlier made today a great point. This is a dominant BJP state, and except for 2018, the BJP has won every major election here.
If the BJP wins in this way, Rahul Verma, then does Madhya Pradesh virtually become like a Gujarat, where the Congress just starts shrinking? Rather than gaining ground, they're actually losing steam.
See, I think if BJP wins this time, we all had the signs of this being a dominant party state. If it wins, then it's definitely going to be a state like Odisha for BJP Gujarat, CPM and TMC West Bengal. Then it would be really, really hard for Congress to make a comeback. Because by this time...
So the contra logic to that could be that even in Chhattisgarh, it seemed the Congress had shrunk and collapsed. Their top leadership wiped out in a road accident like a blast, and they bounced back. So the logic is, yes, it becomes dominant to a great extent, but it doesn't take much to shake that status
quo. So what happens when it becomes a dominant party state? You cannot defeat, it's less likely to be defeated in a normal election. There has to be an extraordinary element in that election to defeat a dominant party. CPM goes out in an election when it was an extraordinary election for West Bengal. BJP will go out in an election which will, in Gujarat, which will be an extraordinary election. Madhya Pradesh 2023 was more like a normal election. And so that's why I would see that what Access My India
That's
is
a good point.
projecting, the direction is much more likely.
I would hesitate. I don't entirely agree with him. I think if you look at the caste composition of Madhya Pradesh, it's very different to Gujarat. You've got a large Dalit population, you've got a large tribal population, it's large OBC population. The Congress has to get its OBC, Dalit, tribal politics right, has to effect a generational change. The big shift in Madhya Pradesh, and I think Pradeep said it when he was here last, it's not just women, upper caste. There was the reason Congress came into the fight in 2018. Upper caste, especially in Bundelkhand and parts of Gwalior, Chambal, shifted wholly to the Congress. The BJP then got 10% reservation immediately ahead of the 2019 elections for economically affected castes, and they shifted back. I think that made a difference. I don't think it's Gujarat yet.
Yeah, no,
it's hardly
no,
Gujarat
but it's
yet.
heading in that direction.
I don't know whether it's heading in that direction. I think if the Congress if this election is, if our numbers are right, because I'm very worried about Kamal Nath. If our numbers are wrong, he's going to latch on to every word of mine. But if our numbers are right, the Congress has to effect a generational change that they did in Chhattisgarh.
Rajdeep, I'm not saying it has become Gujarat as of now. If BJP wins this time and wins big this time, then it is likely to
Chetan,
go
what are you making of these numbers?
Gujarat is Gujarat because PM Modi is from Gujarat. So it is definitely a home state. It's definitely a BJP Gada, as they say. But at the same time, they were losing a few months back. The BJP literally pulled out all stops. Union ministers were made to come and contest assembly seats. Unheard of things were done. Like a lot of effort was done to not lose the state, because I think they realize its importance in Lok Sabha.
Shehzad Poonawala would be dancing if the Madhya Pradesh numbers are right. He's joining us on this broadcast as also as Salman Soz. If the Congress botches up Madhya Pradesh, it would be an epic failure. I don't want to say too much because then the punditry can be played back to me on Sunday. But if the Congress does end up in this status, this was an election where they've snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. It is just inconceivable that given where they were earlier in the campaign, they have just collapsed and just midstream run out of energy. Shehzad, what's the mood in the BJP camp after looking at the post-poll data? Shehzad?
Rahul, we are going to wait for the exact polls on 3rd of December. But having said that, I hope you'd indulge me for just 30 seconds. Rahul, at the beginning of the 2018 election cycle, and after coming out of it, out of the 5 states, we did not have governments in 3 states. We did not have governments in any state government. Actually, Congress had 3 state governments. They lost 1 government along the way because Jyotiraditya Scindia ji walked out. They had 2 state governments. When they went into this election cycle, they had to defend 2 governments. We had 1 government in Madhya Pradesh. Now, after seeing the poll of polls and even seeing your results, we are handsomely defending the Madhya Pradesh government. We are by all means, and your poll in Rajasthan is saying something else, but overall 10 polls that are saying in Rajasthan, we are coming back to power in Rajasthan. In Chhattisgarh, where nobody was predicting that it would be such a close neck-to-neck fight, we are almost within breathing distance of the Congress party. So it means that the Congress party is unable to retain the 2 states that it had. It is perhaps going to, in a bad situation, lose all 3 of them. And the Bharatiya Janata Party may win all 3 of them. And therefore, I am delighted at that prospect, but I will wait till the 3rd of December. I had told Rajdeep on a phone call, I'm disclosing this, we had a conversation one of the days, and I had told Rajdeep that in Madhya Pradesh, compared to 2018, we were in a far better situation in 2023. I think he had accepted that also on the call, and I think that is what is playing out in the results that are coming out as well. And in Rajasthan too, I'm telling you that...
Okay, we'll come to Rajasthan in a moment. Salman Soz, if the Madhya Pradesh numbers are correct, would you accept that this would be an epic botch-up by the Congress, where there was anti-incumbency, there was a bit of thakan, ubasi, you could feel the fatigue. Even BJP, top leaders of the BJP were talking about fatigue and boredom with the Chief Minister. And from there, so many micro-level mistakes which lead to the BJP in the post-poll study coming out triumphant by a big margin, that would really just show how the Congress has snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
Rahul, the big story of these exit polls, yours and other exit polls, is the following. The Congress is the only party in India that is currently in a position that it could form possibly a government in all 5 states. I know that you're not giving us many seats in Mizoram, but there are other channels which are predicting a hung assembly there. There is a possibility that the Congress party could be forming the government in all 5 states. No party other than the Congress party is in a position to say that. Even Shahzad cannot say that right now. Now, as far as
the flip side, you can typically in politics, you look at the glass half full and look at your party's position. But there could also be a situation where 3 states that you won handsomely in 2018, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh less so, you could be losing all 3. And you are not certain to win Telangana, we'll know our numbers tomorrow, and you're completely wiped out in Mizoram. So it can go both ways. You could either be glass half full or you could be glass almost empty.
Rajdeep, that is why we have to wait for December 3 to figure out where everybody ends up. But your polls are suggesting something, other polls are suggesting something else. In some cases, you're giving us Rajasthan. In other polls, maybe some others are giving Rajasthan to the BJP. But my contention is this. In these elections, the Congress party has shown that it is here to fight the BJP for this country. I think the way we have fought in state after state, that is why we are in a position right now to be competitive in all 5 states.
Okay.
Our senior leadership, wait a second, just a second, let me finish. Our senior leadership went to Mizoram as well, did not, unlike media, unlike the Prime Minister of this country, we did not think that Mizoram is not important. Mizoram is important. Our senior leadership went to Mizoram as well because we were competitive, because people want us to be competitive. So, yes, anything can happen in this election. And no election is easy. By the way, you said that we won these elections handsomely in 2018. Rajasthan was very close last time. Madhya Pradesh was very close last time. So it's not as if Chhattisgarh was relatively easy. So
Mr. Soos, the fact is, on the contrary, in a state like Madhya Pradesh, this was your election to win. Many would suggest that in the dying hours of the campaign, in the final heat lap, you just lost the wind speed. You just didn't see and put together a cohesive campaign, and you could see it on ground. The BJP got the better of you in the final leg.
But we don't know the results because other surveys are predicting a victory for the Congress party. Yes,
he is, you were an investment banker, but this is very fascinating. You're picking from different research reports the one data set that suits you. So you're picking some data from the India Today Access My India post-poll study. He's picking somebody else's data where it suits him in Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh. And he's saying, this is what Rahul, my final conclusion is because
Rahul,
this is the data I like the best.
How
Rahul, are you managing money like this, Salman?
Rahul, I'm not an investment banker. I'm a development economist. My job is simply to put in front of the people the overall context. Of course, your channel is predicting a huge victory for the BJP. If they do win, like you're predicting, of course we have to assess what happened and what went wrong. But my point is that there are others who are saying that we're going to win. And possibly we could be forming a government in all 5 states.
So we've spoken about Madhya Pradesh. I want to now go to, let's go to Rajdeep. Rajasthan?
I think the most fascinating election out of the, I came into the studio this evening thinking Madhya Pradesh was going to be the fascinating Kaate ki Takkar. And Telangana is going to be an election still, which I believe is going to keep us excited.
We are excited regardless.
And then Rajasthan. Then comes the numbers for Rajasthan. I think Rajasthan is an election that is...
Try and wake up Rajdeep and tell him...
confound us all.
I was just telling him, if our producers tried to wake up Rajdeep and said, you have to come and anchor at 6 or at 7, he'd say, no way. Say it's counting day, he'll get really supercharged.
My children have a joke. They tell me that on election day, I believe a news channel is GEC. So you've got to do thoda naach gana karna hai, thoda, all those.
Do your children like your dance moves?
No, let's not even go down that route about dance moves.
What's the feedback you get back home on the dance moves?
Look, I have no clue. My son is, I believe, a good dancer. And, he's into all this Telugu. He knows a bit of these Telugu cinema guys and all. He says, if you get your Telangana numbers right, whoever wins, you should do this. What is it? Natu dance?
Oh, no.
No, so you better make sure that
Chetan, how good are your dances?
Natu is difficult. That is a tough one. Natu is very tough.
See, Chetan
Rajdeep is giving it a shot.
Okay, fine.
Chetan is a Gen Z man. I'm not. I'm a 1960s
So we need to
This time, if the polls are right, we'll have Rajdeep and Pradeep as they do always. And we'll have Chetan Bhagat joining.
So we need I request a choreographer. So we
Kanwal
practice.
is much younger. Rahul is much younger than us.
You lead us, and on Sunday
He is younger.
on
Rahul
Saturday
is younger.
let's practice so that on Sunday we can do this.
This is Rajdeep, Pradeep, and Chetan. That's
If we get Telangana right.
Natu.
Okay, but let's go to Rajasthan because that's the one which is going to fascinate all
Okay,
of us.
let's look at the political dance in Rajasthan. Remember, Rajasthan, even the BJP thought they were comfortably placed, but India Today and Access My India don't seem to think so. Access My India is predicting for the India Today group that the Congress could end up between 86 and 106. Remember that 200 seats, 199 went to polls, so the midway mark is 100. 86 to 106, the Congress could end up with more than a majority, which, if turns out to be the case, would be historic, because not since Bhairav Singh Shekhawat in 1993 has any party been re-elected. So that would be a phenomenal performance by the magician Ashok Gehlot. The BJP predicted to bag between 80 and 100. Now CNX predicts that the Congress, CNX is also giving Congress the edge. CNX predicts 94 to 104. The range is narrower than ours. They think the BJP could end up between 80 and 90. So CNX and Access My India are directionally saying the same thing. Jan Ki Baat, on the other hand, gives 100 to 122 to the BJP, 62 to 85 to the Congress. Matriz gives 115 to 130 to the BJP, 65 to 75 to the Congress. ETG gives 56 to 72 to the Congress, 108 to 128 to the BJP. So you've got two polls, Access My India and CNX, which show Congress directionally in front in a tight fight. The other polls seem to show the BJP quite comfortably home. Rahul Verma, if you were to try and draw meaning from the poll of polls, how would you interpret this?
Of course, from the poll of polls, 2 are basically suggesting Congress edge and 3 are giving clear victory to BJP. I would be a bit circumspect about the Rajasthan numbers, and purely from the numbers looking at Access My India. In the 4 states where Access My India has done surveys, in 3 states their gender profile in the survey is really, really good, where they have around 45 to 48% of women interviewed. In Rajasthan, they have only interviewed 28 to 30%, right? So the number of women voters who have been surveyed in Rajasthan is lower. Of course, they have weighted the data and extrapolated the data, but...
No, but using that same women logic, can I make the argument that that could potentially suggest that the Congress could end up more than 106? And I'll explain to you why. Because in Rajasthan, more women are voting for the Congress than men are. Therefore, if you undersampled amongst women, but if that trend holds because it's on a large base, but you actually went out and sampled more women, then that 106 number could increase even further. So that's the hope. By that logic, it could work both ways.
Yes, it's possible. But then we are also in the land that when you try to extrapolate from a small data, then it could go either way, because the sample you collected was just telling you one direction and not telling you the other direction. So I'm just being circumspect. I'm not saying it could be different.
Can I make an argument just on the technicality, which is that the India Today Access My India team polls in every seat.
Yeah.
So in the seats where the trends are quite clear, and they've polled thrice before the post-poll study. So they have seats which they classify as safe because those seats, the trends are very clear. In seats where in your first post-poll study, the trends are showing a tight fight, you go back and poll with a larger sample. So you try and minimize the prospects of error. And sometimes you go back and poll a second time if your first revision doesn't throw up a clear number. So there's a lot of polling that happens. But of course, India looked like it was going to win the World Cup, but it didn't. So there is that too.
And because vote share numbers are very, very close within the margin of error.
That is the bigger problem.
No, but the vote share numbers being close will give the Congress greater satisfaction at the moment in Rajasthan, because traditionally the BJP wins in Rajasthan where it wins big. There are seats, particularly in the urban pockets, where the BJP traditionally wins big. Number 2, the one rule of thumb that I've seen, the 2 polls that Pradeep got wrong, he's not here at the moment, were Bengal and Bihar. In both of those polls, he underpolled women. And Mamata Banerjee in Bengal and Nitish Kumar in Bihar were scoring much more heavily among women and eventually won those elections, Nitish by a much smaller margin. The fact is, if women have voted one way, you tend, and we are seeing it in all states, they tend to vote for welfarism, for the various schemes that are benefiting their lives. We are seeing this in Madhya Pradesh, we are seeing this in Rajasthan, which is why two incumbents, Rahul, both of whom were being written off 6 months ago. You would have asked anyone 6 months ago, they would have said Ashok Gehlot is going to lose, partly because, and that's why I think some of the polls just put a tukka number, 30 saal to haar rahe hain. I mean, governments are being rotated, so we are putting it. Chanakya, who you don't have on your polar polls, also seems to be suggesting Congress has a slight edge. I have felt that the BJP is in the race in Rajasthan. I refuse to believe that the BJP is out of the race, and our poll numbers also show that. It could well be the BJP at 95. I think independents and rebels are the key. If independents and rebels, and they can be undersampled sometimes, because how do you know how much an independent or a rebel is getting? If that goes wrong, then your Rajasthan numbers, even your vote share numbers can go wrong. And that could change. So those 15 to 20 that I think you're giving 15%, that 15% to others will decide Rajasthan. Will the rebels be in number of winning candidates about 10 or 12, or will they be 20? If they are 20, then you are heading for a hung assembly.
And also, less, whose rebels are they? Are they BJP rebels or Congress?
That's post-poll, Rahul. Post-poll, who the rebels are will decide who forms the government. Let's be fair, Gehlot is one of the few guys who managed to survive for 5 years, even though he got just 99
He managed to survive despite the Congress High Command wanting to change him.
No, the BJP tried to remove his government in 2020, didn't succeed. The Congress tried to get him out of Rajasthan in 2022, they did not succeed. Ashok Gehlot is a survivor. If he's able to reach 95, for me, for Ashok Gehlot, the magic number is 95. For the BJP, they would possibly need 100.
I don't agree. I think that the BJP, if it's neck and neck, it's advantage BJP and Amit Shah. If the Congress is comfortably placed, then great, it's the Congress's win. If it comes to pulling people in a very fractured race, it's advantage BJP. Not for any particular reason, except that's the track record for the last 10 years.
So you're basically saying BJP is better at Samdam Dandabhed.
No, well, if you look at it, okay,
you're saying that they're better at breaking parties.
No, not just breaking parties. I'm saying getting independents over.
But Gehlot last time was able to do it.
Gehlot is smart, no doubt.
He's not a politician you should underestimate. You see,
but he's up against the might of the BJP. It's not just, it's a one individual Gehlot up against the might of the might.
I agree with you. In fact, I should revise that. If the BJP gets 90, they will be in the race. Gehlot needs minimum 95. No, that's what I meant.
So you've changed your theory.
No. My theory. No. The BJP needs lesser seats in terms of 90. They will go all out to reach 100. Gehlot at 95 will make every effort. There are enough people that he has a lot of IOUs. Ashok Gehlot has a lot of IOUs.
And MOUs with the other parties.
No. You see, for Vasundhara Raje, 90 is a good situation to be in. Because a lot of the rebels who might win could be people aligned with her. We don't know.
If you actually look at the figure, if I can get a word in.
No, but that's an important point. Vasundhara Raje, if the BJP is around 90, comes out stronger because she's the only one who can hold everything together. If it's a fractured government, you need somebody with expertise and experience in running the state to keep things together. Bringing in a fresh face, that fresh face, unless he has a comfortable majority, will find it tougher to keep the ship steady. So Vasundhara Raje would be happier with a fractured mandate. Somebody like a Gajendra Singh Shekhawat or somebody else would prefer a bigger mandate if they are to be chief minister. So there's that as well. Salman shows, do you think if it's 98 versus 96 or some such thing in a very tight race, it's actually advantage BJP?
I think the BJP advantage is long gone. I think we're living in a different world. I'm really surprised that you have not mentioned that the Prime Minister and the Home Minister may have actually really damaged BJP's chances in states like Rajasthan. In fact, the story here is that they made this about themselves. They made this about the central BJP. And I think the results are in front of you. I think they have really damaged their party. They've damaged Vasundhara Raje Scindia and other local leaders. And Mr. Ashok Gehlot, and he is, after all, a very experienced leader. I think the results that you're seeing are of his governance partly his governance, which has been very good for the people of Rajasthan, and also this over-smart politics by the BJP, which is hurting them not just in Rajasthan, but across the country. You will see the results of Telangana. That is another self-goal by the BJP, no matter
Shehzad Poonawalla, we'll come to Telangana in just a moment. I don't want to get ahead of where we are.
I'm surprised that you would not even mention the Prime Minister today. Because,
no, Shehzad Poonawalla, will you concede? No, one second. On the basis of what the post-poll studies are saying, Shehzad, do you concede that Rajasthan is more closely fought than you would have imagined? Some polls do show BJP ahead, but just marginally. This is not the kind of landslide victory that the BJP internally was hoping for. They were convinced that they were winning handsomely. That's not the case in Rajasthan.
Rahul, let me differ with you very humbly and let me give you a reason for that, and then let me answer Salman's point also. Rahul, from 2018 to 2023, for Rajasthan government to buck the historical trend of the last 2 decades, 2.5 decades, they needed to add on to its already existing vote bank another vote bank. Now please tell me which vote bank has been added. The youth vote bank? Has the women vote bank been substantially added because of just one so-called welfare? Has the Gujar vote bank been added after offending Mr. Sachin Pilot? Which vote bank has been added? Therefore, these numbers don't actually make sense, and I actually go with the circumspection of Rahul Verma. But having said that, you know, Salman, tonight you should avoid making convenient, conditional removal of conclusions. I'll tell you why. Because whatever conclusion you draw for Rajasthan as per our national leadership, then the same conclusion goes on its head in Madhya Pradesh. So are you saying that in Madhya Pradesh, this entire strategy was right? And look, we had a clear-cut strategy for all 5 states. We led under collective leadership. It is you who projected a face in Madhya Pradesh, but did not project the Gehlot you're singing peens about in Rajasthan. So please, Salman, I think you should hold on to your horses. And I just want to ask one basic, simple question as far as Rajasthan is concerned. Please tell me that what is the new vote bank that was added on top of the existing 2018 vote bank for Mr. Gehlot to get perhaps what you are projecting even more than what he got last time? It is not possible, and therefore
Shehzad,
I think this is optimism on
politicians. Sir, with due regard, the problem with politicians is you cherry pick. You see, on Madhya Pradesh, you believe everything's gone right because the numbers have gone right. You're choosing. Our analysis, I can only base our analysis at the moment on the poll numbers. What the poll numbers are clearly showing, and I'll look at Axis for a moment. In Madhya Pradesh, as of now, the Congress seems to have got its strategy wrong of investing, if these numbers are right, of all its eggs in a way in Kamal Nath's basket. On the other hand, if the numbers are right, the BJP may have got its strategy wrong of not being able to set the narrative for Rajasthan, which Ashok Gehlot 6 months ago, with his chain of welfare schemes, was able to set. I'm only going by these numbers. If these numbers are wrong, we will have a very different analysis on the third. But as of today, the BJP also should have the humility in the context of Rajasthan to accept that maybe Ashok Gehlot was able to set the narrative that I am the welfare Purush, call him the welfare Purush or the Vikas Purush of Rajasthan, and the BJP decided that look, we are going to win this election in any case. We don't have to worry about who we need to challenge Gehlot. Let's accept it.
I've heard your question, Rajdeep. Let me address that. Rajdeep,
no, not a question. It's just
going by your numbers only. I'm not even going by the mean of. Arey bhai, Rajdeep, let me address it now. You've asked a 2-minute question. I am not cherry picking. I could have very well said, let's take the mean of polls of each and go. I'm not going by that. I am saying, forget the conversion of seats. Let's go by the vote share in each scenario. What is the vote share you have given to BJP in Madhya Pradesh and vote share to Congress in Madhya Pradesh? What is the vote share in Rajasthan you have given to BJP and Congress, and what is the difference? And what is the vote share in Congress and BJP in Chhattisgarh, and what is the difference? In Madhya Pradesh, there is a sizable difference. In Rajasthan, there is hardly any difference. And then on the basis of that, make a conversion of seats, which is not a perfect science. It's that basis I'm saying this.
You know, since you've asked a question, Shehzad, let me
then Rajasthan, we are ahead.
No, one second. Since you asked where is the Congress gaining votes, I want to go through the caste-wise breakup to answer Shehzad's point, and then I'll go across to Telangana in a moment, because he's asking a question with a lot of confidence. That question can actually be answered because that data is publicly available now and can be addressed. So amongst the scheduled castes, amongst the Meghwal community, the Congress's vote share is up 10% from the last time. We are picking up 63% votes amongst the Meghwals for the Congress. Amongst the other Dalits, the SCs, Congress at 56, it was 50% from the last time. So that's again 6% up. Amongst the Meenas, which is a scheduled tribe, the Congress up 1% from the last time, 57 this time, it was 56 the last time. Amongst the Bhils, these are also the tribals, 46%, it was 41% the last time. Amongst the other tribals, 49%, so there's no change. Amongst the Muslims, it's 83% this time. Last time it was only, it was 8% less. So the Congress gaining amongst the Jats as well, which is an OBC community, 36%. Last time the Congress polled only 30%. The BJP is at 42, but the Congress did pick up 6%. The Congress has lost ground amongst the Gujars. They've lost 11% of the Gujar vote they had. They've gained marginally amongst the Malis, which is the community that Ashok Gehlot comes from, so from 39 to 40. And therefore, there are communities where the Congress has picked up vote share. So it's not as if, you know, there is no community where the Congress isn't
Rahul,
picking up
just to say, to back up Shehzad's point, my belief is why I believe Rajasthan, the BJP is very much in the race, is the Gujar vote. You see, the Gujar vote was what the Congress got in large numbers in 2018. If that has drifted more substantially than our numbers say, I know it's only 9%, but it affects a substantial area of eastern Rajasthan, which the Congress did very well. That can change the equation. I would say it's a tight race. My only point to Shehzad is, just as the Congress needs to start getting real about, if our numbers are right about Madhya Pradesh, the BJP also needs to get real about a state that they look like sweeping 5 months ago and now has become a tight race. I mean, if politicians could start becoming a little bit more humble, it might help them.
You're
That's all
asking
I'm
for
saying.
too much, Rajdeep. Asking for too much. Right now, all we ask for
Rajdeep,
is for our
now why are you accusing me of not being humble?
उसने तो बोला, I want to disagree in all humility. Okay, let's now move on to Telangana.
Okay.
Let's
Shehzad.
move to Telangana.
You're a humble farmer.
The interesting thing is, my phone is buzzing with missed calls and messages from some of the top leaders of Telangana. Lots of people there very curious about
they all
India
driving me
Today
crazy.
post-poll numbers. I obviously can't take any calls while I'm anchoring, but here's what I wish to say to everyone in Telangana, and the level of popularity or the level of connect that the India Today coverage has had in Telangana is phenomenal. So with a lot of respect, we want to tell you, we want to be careful. Our initial estimates are in, but we want to go back tomorrow, check again, especially in the seats that are tightly fought, to be sure, because if you are basing your estimates only on exit poll data, the difference between a post-poll study and an exit poll data is in a post-poll study, you go back to people who voted, you assure that they voted and the sample is scientifically collected. So you have roughly in your sample the same percentages of people as they are in the community, whereas in an exit poll you could end up oversampling certain communities, undersampling some, so it's far trickier. So we just want to take an extra day and come back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with the Telangana numbers. But here's what the others are saying for Telangana. Now, CNX says that the Congress will end up between 63 and 79. The Congress, remember, is 119, the Assembly is 119. The Congress last time had only 19, so 63 to 79, a big sweep in favor of the Congress. Jan Ki Baat says 48 to 64 for the Congress, 45 to 55 for the BRS. So they're showing a prospect where the BRS could end up in front. Matrice says 46 to 56 for the BRS, 58 to 68 for the Congress. So they're also showing a tighter fight. Chanakya says clean sweep for the Congress, 71 for the Congress versus 33 for the BRS. The BJP, to their disappointment, in all the polls, seen quite clearly as the third party. They could possibly end up behind the AIMIM. AIMIM is typically comfortable on 7 seats. The BJP, some of these polls show, could be behind AIMIM. That won't be a happy situation for them. Rajdeep.
But you know, Rahul, this is why tomorrow is even almost as important as today, if not more. Telangana is going to decide who has the bragging rights. You know, it is going to become an election which
why should Telangana decide?
Because you see,
Madhya Pradesh, this big victory gives BJP a lot of bragging rights.
No, it will give the BJP bragging rights if they win Madhya Pradesh big.
And in Chhattisgarh, they were expected to lose if they made a fight of it.
No, you see, there are no prizes in politics for runners-up. We can look at what happens post-election. For the Congress, the bragging rights can only come from Telangana. You know, Salman shows you could be in a situation, I come back to it, where either the Congress wins very little on Sunday, or you actually win a lot.
Yeah.
And Telangana could well decide that. The number of congressmen who are calling me up are all at the moment wanting to know Telangana, because after these numbers have come, poll of polls, you need Telangana desperately. It's the one state that you now covet. And if you don't get it, it could be a bad day in the office for you.
I think, like, see, Madhya Pradesh is with BJP and Telangana is with Congress, and Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan can go either way. The score can be 1-3, 2-2,
or 3-1.
3-1.
Or 3-1.
And it totally changes what the party's mood is, what the morale is. Like, everything changes.
There's actually one more reason
And there is a 4-0.
Everybody is spooked, especially the Congress, because typically Access My India is an outlier poll. They say something different from what all the other pollsters are saying. Everybody is wondering if Access My India is an outlier prediction for Telangana as well, where most polls are saying Congress is winning. If it does, which is where there could be a twist in the tail. I'm not saying
but
it does.
every poll, every Telangana
poll
poll is saying it's a comfortable Congress victory.
Yeah, what the Telangana polls are giving is a lead to the Congress. The problem in Telangana for the Congress, and maybe Salman can come in on this, is that out of 119 seats, Rahul, the Congress will need 60 plus.
No, and plus they're so weak in the Hyderabad region.
If the 7-13 of the BJP that one poll is giving comes right, let's say midpoint is 10, they get 10, OVC gets 6. Then you have a potential situation where KCR, even at 45, could be forming a government. Could be. The Congress needs 60 plus. And therefore, the Congress's task is a little bit more difficult in Telangana. Even if you are 54, KCR may try and form a government. So, Salman Sos, do you agree? Telangana is your big prize. If you've lost Madhya Pradesh, the other big prize, you've only got Telangana to hold on to.
Rajdeep, all states are important for us, but of course, if we were to win in Telangana, which seems to be the case, that is what we're hearing from multiple sources. And tomorrow we'll see what your poll says, and on December 3rd we'll come to know what happens. But you really have to ask this question again, and I'm going to ask this question again of you people. You people are analysts, you people are experts. What happened here? Now, this is a state where the Congress was supposedly relegated to third place. The BJP was going to be the main contender. And suddenly you realize now we are talking about whether Congress will get at least 60 seats or not. That is the question right now. And
no, that's a good point which Shehzad, let Shehzad Poonawalla respond to that. Because Shehzad Poonawalla, just a minute, 2019 you win 4 Lok Sabha BJP, then 2020 you come second in Hyderabad municipal election. Now, you'll be satisfied with just double-digit numbers, 10 seats in a 119-member assembly. To that extent, like in Karnataka, you seem, Dakshin Bharat, South India seems to be BJP mukt.
Obviously, you don't consider Puducherry to be part of South India, Rajdeep. We have a government there. Anyways, Rajdeep, what I want to say is that, I like the fact that you have such high expectations of BJP. We were only 6.5% in 2018. We had literally no existence. We were 1 seat. Today we are almost doubling our vote share as per all the exit polls which have come out so far. And I'm sure in your poll also it will be confirmed. Now, if you want to conflate the Lok Sabha growth with the Vidhan Sabha, then you're the same people who say don't conflate the two numbers. But I think that, Rajdeep, even you will accept that a state where we had no existence 5 years ago, today we are in double-digit vote share. We are heading towards double-digit seats is a good growth for us. And Puducherry, we have a government there. So, Rajdeep, don't discount that part. At least
no, I'm not discounting it. And I just wanted to know, would you support a KCR to form a government? I just want to know who's your main enemy. Because through the campaign, the Prime Minister's attacked KCR after trying to discount all these this talk of KCR being a B team. Now, if a couple of these numbers from the poll shows KCR is, say, 10 short of a majority, you have 10, will you back him? Then you'll forget all the past history only to keep the Congress out?
Rajdeep, I am not in the habit of doing mundan of a baby that is not born yet. So I think when the 3rd of December arrives, at that time, depending on the situation, let us see what the numbers are. We are very confident that we are actually going to have a substantial say in the politics of Telangana.
So I want to make one point before we move on to Chhattisgarh, which is this. For Congress observers, Telangana carries a story that in a state where they were down and out, even the Congress seemed to have conceded that the BJP was emerging as the principal opponent to the BRS. That's what the Hyderabad municipal election results showed. After the Karnataka results, they've bounced back. So, Rahul Verma, you can think that the Congress is down and out. If the government of the day has anti-incumbency, and if the Congress runs a sharp campaign, they pick their candidates well, the Congress can recover lost ground in a state like Telangana. It's not lost forever.
Yeah, true. See, Congress in the undivided Andhra Pradesh was a very, very formidable party. That gave them so many seats in 2004 and 2009. After the division of Andhra and Telangana, they lost it out. But more than the bragging right, I think if Congress does well in Telangana, what it will do to them is that Congress will start becoming a very different party in North India and South India. With Karnataka in hand, they do well in Kerala in Lok Sabha elections and have a very formidable alliance with DMK in Tamil Nadu. What we might see a different Congress party in Hindi belt and different in
and I think it's absolutely imperative. I think Rahul makes a great point. It's absolutely imperative, therefore, for the Congress to win Rajasthan. You know, it is critical for Congress
and
to...
Chhattisgarh as well.
See, Chhattisgarh, I'll be honest, Chhattisgarh will not have the same echo that winning. Rajasthan will to some extent offset if they lose Madhya Pradesh. At least they can claim its level. Let's assume they lose Chhattisgarh. Then Telangana, either way, for the reason that Rahul cited, the Congress is becoming much stronger south of the Vindhyas. Rahul Gandhi, even as we speak today, is in Kerala. It's a state which he seems to have adopted. The Congress has a strong ally in Tamil Nadu. The Congress then wins Telangana. They can hope in the future to slowly make headway if they can into Andhra Pradesh. They're in power in Karnataka. In 130 Lok Sabha seats, and delimitation will become important in a couple of years, the Congress will have a strong presence and regional parties will be on the retreat. On the other hand, if the BJP by some chance wins all three of the three Hindi heartland states, Rahul, they'll have reversed what happened in 2018. And then the Congress is out of 2024 race.
Yes.
Because then it means that Northwest India is firmly with the BJP. The Congress desperately needs one of these states, either Rajasthan, most likely Rajasthan. Chhattisgarh, relatively small.
So let's
they
come
need
to
Rajasthan
Chhattisgarh
at all costs and Telangana.
Let's come to Chhattisgarh right now and show you what the post-poll study of India Today and Access My India says for Rajasthan and what the other pollsters are saying as well. So here it is on your screen right now. Access My India predicts that the Congress could end up between 40 and 50. Remember the 90 seats, so you need 46 to win. So India Today is essentially predicting that the Congress could, on the higher end of the range, end up around 50. On the lower end, it could be a hung house. The BJP between 36 and 46. So this is really going down to the wire on Super Sunday. C Voter says the Congress could end up between 41 and 53, which is roughly what Access My India is saying as well. They're predicting the BJP between 36 and 48. Jan Ki Baat says 42 to 53. So this is one where all the polls are virtually suggesting the same thing. Give or take a few seats. It's interesting here, Rajdeep, that all the polls directionally are suggesting the Congress slightly in front, the BJP slightly behind, but advantage Congress in Chhattisgarh.
The danger with this is that if it is hung, and here you are absolutely right, if it falls below 45, which is the halfway mark, then the BJP, which has all the resources in hand, हमारे पास कई चीजें हैं, हमारे पास मैं उन पर नहीं जाऊंगा आज, maybe Chetan wants to tell me what the BJP has in such situations.
You cannot just pass. You have to come first in class.
Because तुम्हारे पे, you know, A, B, C के बाद आता है E, और E के पहले आता है D. So you don't know what the ED would... So if these numbers hold, at 40, the Congress is in trouble. The Congress needs 50. At 45, in Chhattisgarh, anything can happen. If not today, then 6 months down the line. So I think Chhattisgarh gives the Congress hope, but not enough for it to sleep comfortably at all.
No one is sleeping comfortably.
No one is going to sleep. Ashok Gehlot, you know, we are getting calls from CMOs in 2 of the 3 states already. So they are worried. Telangana very worried. Why can't you give us the numbers today?
थोड़ा बता दो.
नहीं, कुछ नहीं बता सकते because we don't have the numbers. I think what's happened is we've had a very fragmented competitive election. I think the great thing about this election, look at across the states except Madhya Pradesh and possibly tomorrow Telangana, and I think Preeti, you'll agree that when you travel, you saw a lot of competition on the ground, seat by seat, region by region.
Well, definitely in Rajasthan, it's an election, I think, which confounds. It's a very interesting election at that. But where Madhya Pradesh is concerned, you went in thinking that the BJP, that the Congress had an edge because everyone here told you so. When you went there, you didn't see that happening. And yes, I think where Madhya Pradesh was concerned, it's 6 regions. The election changes from one region to the other. The only thing that carried forward were the schemes.
So who will be, Rajdeep, most, I mean, everybody is anxious, but on the scale of anxiety, who do you think is most anxious?
I think given these numbers, the Congress will be very anxious.
But here's
because
interesting
because to use what Chetan said, it could be 3-1 Congress and they won the series. It could be 3-1 BJP and they won the series. It could be 2-2, right? Or it could be 2-1-1 because you have BRS in Telangana. So you've got 4 different scenarios. Imagine, I'm not including Mizoram, where you've got at the moment another party, which is when it's clear that the ZPM is winning. So you have 4 or 5 different scenarios, Rahul.
I'll give you my theory on who's likely to be most anxious. See, everybody's nervous, right? But KCR is probably going to be most anxious because if the BJP, even if it were to lose some of the heartland states, they know in 2024 they're well placed and therefore they're likely to recover whatever losses happen when Prime Minister Modi is on the ticket in the next general elections. If KCR loses and the Congress were to win in Telangana, then what happens to the regional party from here? It was born with the idea of creation of a new state. People voted them to power twice over. What does the future hold for them? Which is why Telangana and tomorrow becomes so crucial. We'll start at 6 p.m. We'll bring you the results for Telangana, which gives us 24 extra hours to go back, sample again in the tighter seats and come back with a level of confidence which is higher than what we had in the initial estimates today. So it's not a marketing gimmick, I promise you that. It's not as if we want to just carry over audience interest till tomorrow. It's because we value our credibility. We want to be sure. You can never be 100% sure. Even Amit Shah doesn't know for a fact what's going to happen. There is a certain level of uncertainty in any polling, but we want to be as sure, reduce the prospects of something going wrong, which is why we want to hold back till tomorrow. Rajdeep, जाते जाते गाना क्या समझ में आ रहा है?
गाना यार I let Telangana happen.
No, but you have a song for tonight.
ये कहाँ आ गए?
Who's singing this?
You see, all these parties are going to sing this because they don't know what tomorrow brings.
Chetan,
is the film guy. Chetan, you sing a song for us.
What's your song?
I won't sing, but I'll tell you the song, then you can sing. यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना?
जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना. That's Rajesh Khanna on a scooter in Andaz.
He's like, I'm a data guy, मेरा कोई गाना वाना नहीं है.
No, I think the real songs will come on the 3rd. That's when the real music will be heard.
Which is when Rajdeep, Chetan and Pradeep Gupta will be dancing this time to Natu Natu.
Preeti will join us, so will Rahul.
As usual, I will sit at the back and try and cover my face and hopefully none of my friends are watching.
One very interesting. Supposing, I'll tell you, you're asking who will be most anxious. Imagine the scenario where Congress does really well or really badly. If the Congress does really well, it doesn't need the India alliance. Then it'll be like, we're fine. If it's a 4-0 or a very good 3-1, or if it does really badly, that means the India alliance hasn't worked.
In fact, India
alliance is in trouble.
An India alliance person told me our best scenario is Congress winning 2 or only 1.
Yeah.
So because then we'll actually have an election in 2024. Their belief is if the Congress starts winning 3 out of 4, the Congress will believe that 2024 bhi ho gaya. So maybe it could be 2-2. I have always from the start believed it will be 2-2. That's been my view.
679 assembly seats, 161
BJP
million
2,
voters,
2 to the Congress,
83 Lok Sabha seats. That's what's up for grabs on Super Sunday. You can do all the post-mortem of the post-poll studies. We'll be back at 6 p.m. tomorrow evening when we get you the post-poll results for Telangana. So bear with us. We'll be back. I'll run multiple crosstabs from these polls and pick up the trend that emerges. How electorally potent as a numerical value is the Modi factor? Like how many people said they voted the way they did because of Prime Minister Modi? What is the level of pull that the Prime Minister has in different states? We'll have multiple crosstabs for you when we come back tomorrow in the evening, and then we will have that zinger of a contest in Telangana. And it's most exciting because the Access My India team is usually the outlier. So the BRS which is watching is thinking, they usually say the opposite of what the other pollsters say, so maybe they'll say that in Telangana as well.
I'm also hoping we get it right because Hyderabad is one of the cities I just love. It's a great city and I want to travel there with the assurance that we got the poll right. So KCR Gadu, please wait for 24 hours. Revant Anna, please wait for 24 hours. Hopefully you'll get the right numbers.
Really fun. So there's this journalist who's watching this broadcast in Madhya Pradesh, and he's saying, I know what Shivraj will be singing. Phoolon ka taro ka sabka kehna hai, 1000 mein meri behna hai.
On that note, Thank you very much for watching. Stay well. Jai Hind. Namaskar.
6 p.m. tomorrow. We'll see you again. Goodbye. Good night. We'll play out the best of our coverage from earlier in the evening. So if you missed our coverage earlier, we'll show you what happened in Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh when we come back on the other side of a quick break. And I'll see you at 6 p.m. in the State of War tomorrow.